Civil society organization Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has urged Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara to urgently withdraw directives to some banks to unfreeze former First Lady Patience Jonathan's accounts. The organization says the directives to banks to unfreeze Jonathan's accounts amounts to mingling with the executive and judicial powers in the National Assembly. The Executive Director of SERAP, Adetokunbo Mumuni, joins us now on TVC News Hour. Many thanks to you for finding time to join us on TVC News Hour.
It's a pleasure being here.
Now, if this amounts to the National Assembly mingling with the judicial powers and the executive powers, does the EFCC itself also has a right to, shun a court order vacating the freezing order?
You see, let me put everything into context. When somebody says a process has been embarked upon that violates my legal rights, that person should not go to the National Assembly. That person should go to the court to seek further redress, to undo what he says the court has done. Let me give you the background to it. The CBN must have obtained orders of court to freeze Patience Jonathan's account. The CMB the EFCC cannot do it alone. So now, if he now says the way the CBN and the EFCC had obtained the order happens to be injurious to our legal rights, all he simply do is go back to the court and adduce reason why the court should undo the order. That is the proper thing. You see, the way the National Assembly has been acting, the impression that we now have is that we have an imperial National Assembly that will just sit somewhere and be issuing orders. And that is questioning the good faith of the National Assembly. Because, let me ask you, in matters that concerns ordinary Nigerians, suffering Nigerians, has the National Assembly passed any single resolution?
All right, let me quickly come to, before you digress a little.
Yes.
The Senate, the reason given by the Senate for the ordering the unfreezing of the account was that the accounts were frozen without specific restriction orders from any court of law, and of the accounts were frozen based on administrative lapses. That's according to the Senate. So what is different from what happened?
The Senate is a Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not the Senate that will dabble into private matters. No matter how mighty the former First Lady is a private Nigerian, ordinary Nigerian. The question to ask, that we should ask is, in matters that concerns poor Nigerians, has the Senate passed such resolution?
Well, the Senate here is saying that the court order wasn't followed in this regard. There was no due process, rule of law in this regard.
It is not for the Senate to say there is no due process. Once the Senate starts dabbling into matters relating to court orders, it has taken the position of a judge in matters relating to matters between citizens. That is not the role of the Senate. The Senate business is make law for the peace, order and good government of Nigeria, not to dabble into private matters. What they should have advised President Jonathan to do is to advise her to go to court and convince the court that the EFCC is violating a court order. That is the best way to go, not the Senate making more or less judicial interventions.
If I get you clear,
yes,
even though there's a subsisting order,
yes,
telling the Senate,
yes,
that the freezing is null and void.
No, I can't see the Senate quoting such order that exists. I've not heard them say there is an order that says the unfreezing is null and void. If the order is null and void, then it is now for President Jonathan to now drag the EFCC and its officials to the court for contempt.
But
That's the way to go in the
there
democratic society.
If there was one, the EFCC is breaching the rule of law.
That is to say, there are procedures when a court makes an order, nobody's following it. You file for 48 and 49 and ask the person that's responsible to be committed to prison. That's the way it's done in every democratic society. Not for one arm of government to be serving as a superintendent over whatever the judiciary does. That's not the way it is.
So by the actions of the Senate now, has it, destroyed anything, as it were, in terms of legal implications now?
You see, if you listen to democracies all over the world, Trump introduced certain travel ban. You understand? It went to the judiciary. The Senate of America didn't make any pronouncement on it. The House of Representatives of America didn't make any pronouncement on it. It is judiciary business. Let the thing play out in court and let us have a definite pronouncement from the court. If somebody says the order of the court is being violated, the person has a right under established law to proceed in contempt against the violator of the order of the court. That's the way it's done.
We also see the Senate sealing properties that are suspected to have been gotten from ill-gotten funds.
Senate sealing properties?
Sorry, the EFCC rather, sealing
Yes.
properties.
Yes.
Now, how appropriate is this under the act establishing the EFCC?
Let me tell you, the EFCC has no right to seal any property until it has obtained the order of the court. The order might have been obtained ex parte in the absence of the other side. But the EFCC has no power under its law to go into a property and say, I'm sealing it, unless there is
a court order.
A court order, yes. That law I know clearly. Yes.
All right, let's leave it at that for now. Thanks a lot, Adetokunbo Mumuni, founder SERAP, for your insights on this very issue. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.